Hello and welcome to episode 53 of I Will Cast Anything. We're on Daybreak for a ZVZ. The red Zerg player spawning in the bottom left hand position is Khasidon, and the blue Zerg player spawning in the top right hand position is Echo. Khasidon sent me this replay very kindly. He's a Diamond League player in the EU region and plays random, hence why Echo is asking, you gonna tell me what race you're playing? And Echo is a Silver League player in the EU region. He says R for race. That there's an R in Zerg, there's also an R in Protoss and an R in Terran. Don't know if that's an answer or not. Neither does Echo, and here comes the drone scout to figure out, but I think these overlords might just spot each other. That might be enough. Anyway, both players mirroring each other so far. We don't see a pool yet from either player, so nothing happening in the tactics. Do these overlords see each other? No, I guess they're not. Oh yes, barely. I wonder if Khasidon or if Echo even will have noticed that. Well, spotted the creep now, so now Echo knows, okay, it's a ZVZ. Which Khasidon, of course, knew already. That is the advantage. One of the advantages of playing random. And here comes the spawning pool. And the first gas extractor for Khasidon. Echo, meanwhile, is going to build a hatchery. So, already we see, even though it's a mirror matchup, there's quite a difference in the playstyles here. See if Khasidon can get us around on this drone. Nope. Drone is going to head back in for more scout. And Khasidon Scout is going to head out, see what it can see. So we're seeing a more macro style from Echo, and a style designed to get some more lings in play. Although I'd expect to see that hatch come down pretty soon from Khasidon as well. Yep, here it comes. And you know, getting that queen out early can make as much a difference in larva as getting the hatchery down earlier. Although I think that, given the timing of it, and given that that queen is not coming out straight away, Echo is probably going to have that larva lead early on, which is so important for ZVZ. Drones chasing each other every which way on the map yet, so far, but no lings yet produced. Khasidon's Overlord has arrived here to check out what's going on. Similarly, Echo's Overlord has arrived at the doorstep of the main and natural of Khasidon. And Echo is playing a little bit defensively, it seems, going 2 queens straight away and a spine. Spine crawler at the main base, yes. Probably be walked down to the natural once constructed. And just a couple of lings from Echo to head out and explore the map. Khasidon's drone has come home, and Khasidon has started work on queen as well. Of course, still waiting for this hatchery to complete. And another scouting drone returning home there. Echo doesn't have any drones down here at this base yet. Here comes a wave. Starting to get saturated. What's the drone count at? Echo with a slight lead there. Perhaps putting that larva advantage of having that early second hatch to use there. But Khasidon, remember, got this gas quite early on, so has that metabolic boost ready to go already. Echo just about to have enough gas to start it. And getting up and mining at the second base, but pretty similar in that regard. Khasidon also spending some of that gas on a Baneling nest, so going to be able to go for some early speedling Baneling aggression if he so chooses. Baneling's also very useful defensively against Zerglings. And the spine has walked down to protect this natural and protect this ramp as anticipated, and Echo just droning at the moment. Made those 2 lings early on, but nothing else. Just droning. Now getting ling speed, so Khasidon is going to have a pretty good window of advantage here where he will have speed and his opponent will not, but going straight for lair, so we're not seeing any major ling production from either player yet. Just the 4 out at the moment for Khasidon. See if that changes with the speed advantage. We do see Banelings coming out, and we do not see a Baneling nest yet for Echo. Could be significant. Echo getting a 3rd queen, might be thinking about a 3rd base in the not so distant future. Might also see some slight Ling on Ling violence in the middle of the map. No, not yet. And here come some evolution chambers for both players. We have a single evolution chamber for Khasidon, double evo chambers for Echo. And that layer tech just now finishing off for Khasidon, so a big advantage in getting that layer early. Would expect to see Echo catch up in upgrades pretty shortly. 2 gases at the main taken for both Zerg players. None at the natural for either of them just yet. Link speed just now finishing up. Here comes an overseer for Khasidon, having that layer tech. And here come the first round of upgrades, so Echo is going to be ahead in that regard, getting +1/+1/+1, as Echo is just getting +1 carapace. And now we see speedling on speedling violence chasing each other across the map. Gonna go all the way back to Echo's base. And there are 2 queens there. That will keep everything cool. But no third anytime soon for Echo, despite having those extra queens out there. Up to 3, so going to be doing some creep spread pretty soon. And both players just spreading out these overlords here as much as possible. Just cover as much of the map as you can, because why not? Here comes a macro hatchery. Oh, so getting a macro hatch before even going up to lair is Echo. Khasidon hasn't really done much with that lair tech, having gone up to lair really quickly. Haven't seen a spire, we haven't seen an infestation pit. So just waiting to see what Khasidon's play is going to be a little bit here. The Roach Warren is coming for Echo, which is a strong move, and we also see a big wave of Zerglings coming out. This little wave of Lings that Khasidon made is the only sort of poke that's happened so far, but it looks like Echo might move out now, try and take a bit of map control, which is good to see. Still no third base for either player. But here comes a bit of a poke, knock at the front door. There's a spine crawler waiting. And a baneling, but 2 do get through. Queen is going to deal with those. Might get a work kill. No. So both players poking a little bit. Oh, this Zergling's still alive there. Both players poking and prodding, but neither able to do any serious damage. Here comes the macro hatchery for Khasidon. Here finally comes some layer tech. The spire is on the way, but the upgrade advantage is starting to tell for Echo from their double evo chambers. +1/+1 is finished, working on +1 missile for those roaches, working on layer tech, but still not particularly heavy unit production, although it does have a big mess load of Lings sitting around at the front of his main base, but not moving out with them as of yet. And here's the first third base taken. Echo was quicker getting 2 bases and is quicker getting 3rd, and here comes a big wave of Mutalisks from Khasidon. That is going to change the dynamic of this game completely. Well, interesting stuff. Echo's hiding all of his overlords back here, which is pretty wise, but here comes that Zergling push out that we thought might happen. Khasidon's going to see this now and think, oh no, that's a lot of Lings, making some Lings in response. What is going to be done with those mutas? That's what I want to know. Setting it onto the map now. Those Lings from Echo are just sitting in the middle, not doing much, and Khasidon, both players now making lots and lots of Lings. Here comes Roach speed and +2 melee, so that upgrade advantage is eking out ever so slightly, and this third hatch is in trouble. Not great DPS from mutas, but more than enough with the complete lack of anti-air from Echo. And Echo is caught off guard by this, instantly throwing down spore crawlers at his main and natural, and instantly counter-attacking with Lings, so there's going to be a trade of third bases here. Both players munching those third hatcheries down. A little bit of resistance. Oh, great baneling hit from Khasidon. That was a great bit of attacking movement there, and is going to clean this up, so I think that's worked in Khasidon's favor initially, but here comes a huge wave of roaches for Echo. Meanwhile, these Mutalisks are just saying, I don't care about no spore crawlers, and with the aid of some Lings are charging into this hatchery and doing a ton of damage. Are we going to see base trade here at the 13-minute mark? It's a ton of roaches. These spine crawlers are going to fall so quickly, and there's nothing here to defend. There's some banelings up here, but they're not being used. Roaches have popped out here to deal with these lings, but these mutas are going almost uncontested now that they've killed that queen. This hatchery could fall as well. There have been tons of worker kills on both fronts. 24 killed by Khasidon, but now these roaches are just killing everything in Khasidon's base, and his natural is going to fall as well. He's rebuilding his third up here and left a small force to guard it, so sort of preparing for the base trade, and I think it is going to come off, because I think this hatchery is going to die too, as will all these tech structures and all these workers. And these mutas are just completely uncontested. Are there some spores up at the top? Yes, there are. So these mutas can't just kill everything. So maybe Khasidon is slightly worse off here, because he's going to be down to just one base and could lose all of his tech structures, but comes in with some banelings and gets some great hits. Roaches too tough to be dealt with by banelings alone, but the mutalisks have flown home now and are starting to push them away. They are going to kill a lot of workers though. Up to 12 workers killed for Echo now. These workers are running back to this hatchery, but they've brought the roaches with them. This could be dangerous for Khasidon. Really dangerous. There's another hatchery going up here. Another hatchery going up here. Trying to rebuild, but this third is going to be lost again before he has any more bases up. And these drones just don't know where to run at the moment. Long range mining from the main to the third right now. And these roaches going home thinking they've done a hell of a lot of damage, but Khasidon just immediately rebuilding all of these hatcheries. Didn't lose any tech structures, crucially. Still has the spire, still has the baning nest, still has the spawning pool, has the one evo chamber as well, and no real tech damage done to Echo's base. So huge trades going on there. Big losses for both teams. Still roaches for Echo, and a wave of mutas, a refreshed wave of mutas has come out for Khasidon. These roaches could be in trouble with nothing to defend them, but the Hydralisk Den is coming for Echo, so the anti-air will be out soon. Neither player going for the infestation pit yet. Some drones getting caught in the crossfire there. Now the tech structures are going to come under the attack. The spire is going to go down, certainly. What else will be taken out before these mutas can do their job? That's a heck of a lot of mutas. And they are going to chew through these roaches. I think they're going to save this hatchery. But there are more roaches rallying across the map all the time, and here come those hydralisks, so those mutas are going to be less and less effective, but the hatcheries are up at least for Khasidon. Has about to have 3 hatcheries, not doing much mining at the moment, in fact almost no mining. And there's a lot of queens for Echo, but not much else. Still working off this one hatchery, going to be mined out of minerals pretty soon. Needs to expand. But down to just 19 workers is Echo, and that's going to be a problem. This Mutaforce is going to move out, but it's going to meet Queens and Hydras, which is a bad idea. Hydra range is coming, and drones and Queens coming for Khasidon. So trying to get that economy back up and running, having stabilized, and all these Queens and all these Hydras are just going to make these Mutas almost completely useless for frontal attacks. But Queens are very slow, and the Hydras are pretty slow too, and they're moving out. And suddenly Khasidon is going to be able to swing round, pick off a couple drones up here, might be able to take out some overlords. There are spore crawlers up here, but there are enough mutalisks that they might be able to just push through. Could we see another base trade? Because Echo isn't coming back to defend, just pushing straight on. How many spore crawlers are there left? Still 3. These mutas aren't target firing terribly effectively, but they don't need to. There's so many of them. And Echo once again is just abandoning base. Drone train has left. Tech structures are going to start to fall. And what does Khasidon have to defend this? Well, making lings, making spines. There are some roaches up in the main base already. And this queen train is chugging across the map. Drones are coming too. Echo is going all in now, I think. These drones aren't going to build a hatch somewhere else. They are coming to attack. And Khasidon is just churning out lings as fast as possible. Does have quite a lot of drones, up to 40. So able to produce lots of income, but each just churn out drones, spines and lings at the moment. Has a good force up at the top. Slightly hesitant is Echo, even though this isn't all in, to commit, just waiting for those queens to get up here, and the spines aren't going to have time to finish. The drones are in, going to kill a queen. How about that? I think this natural and the third are going to fall again for Khasidon, and mine out an issue here as well, although there are a ton of spines back there. Khasidon making lings as fast as possible and expanding to other areas of the map. Still just the barest bit of mining going on for Echo, but most of the drones are up in this attack. More spines dying, but some finishing up, and now Khasidon's main base is under threat, and the army, it looks like, has been hit off to the side here and transformed into banelings. I wondered where it was. Here they come. Some good initial hits, getting more hits in there, but not good enough, and the queens just have too much health. Transfuses being used as well. Now the mutas come in, last ditch defense, but they are all going to die to the queens, and now the tech structures and the hatcheries are going to die. These workers are going to die as well. The spine crawlers being moved up here trying to defend, but I don't think they're going to last long enough. Still 6 queens here, and some hydralisks as well. Lings are popping out and running across. This is not totally dominant from Echo. Again, hasn't taken out any tech buildings, killing lots and lots of units, but losing roaches. And now going to push in again. Still hasn't taken out this hatchery. Meanwhile, Khasidon not rebuilding any tech structures elsewhere, but is building a hatchery, and drones production starts for Echo. So Echo realizes, hold on, this all-in isn't quite going how I planned it here. My queens are over there, but my opponent's just doing so much at the moment. Finally, that hatchery dies, the broodlings come out, and the drones come out with it. Good time to try and escape or even do some damage. Drones killing queens all over this game. Regicide taking place. Actually, no one's getting killed. Transfuses go off. These spines are isolated. Still rallying Lings down, and workers, that's a bit of a mistake, by 1s and 2s across the map. A couple of drones of Echoes are sitting over here. And Echo built a few more drones, mining a tiny bit, but not able to produce much. Finally, the real damage is done by Echo. The spawning pool is going to go down. Baneling Nest will soon follow. And Khasidon, all of a sudden, can't make anything. Needs to rebuild a spawning pool very, very quickly. Here it goes. And needs to do it before these queens can waddle their way across the map. Drone production is restored in earnest for Echo. Both players brought to the brink of destruction here, but scrambling to get back up. Echo might be thinking about taking a cheeky hatchery somewhere else, or maybe just looking for cheeky hatcheries. Echo has killed all of the bases of Khasidon several times, knows that this base is still here, but it looks like heading home. Is Echo not willing to try and press the advantage now after having killed the spawning pool of his opponent? But Khasidon is going to be back up to having a spawning pool pretty soon. Drone count down to 28 for Khasidon, up to 14 for Echo. Killing off some overlords now. Both players, plenty of space. Overlord cap, and just transfuses, keeping these queens alive. What's the unit count at the moment here? 1 hydralisk, 6 queens for Echo, 4 queens, 3 zerglings for Khasidon. Neither player has lair anymore. No, wait, actually, tell a lie. Echo still has a lair. So got that going for him, and about to be up to 2 bases. But look at this income disparity. Massive mineral income for Khasidon. No gas income, but doesn't need gas income. Just going to flood with lings at the moment. And that's a pretty good decision in this low econ situation. Look at these poor spine crawlers bleeding to death over here. Tragic. Echo trying to get home with these 5 queens. Trying to rebase. Has a macro hatch still. So, you know, Echo not completely out of this. Pretty behind on income at the moment. And about to be under attack from severely large numbers of speedlings. Only 1-1 on these speedlings, so not devastating, but there are going to be a lot of them. That is the real issue. Khasidon just gets knocked down. He's like whack-a-mole. The hatcheries get taken down and they just keep popping back up again. These queens have been a long way from home, finally getting back to creep now. And Echo starting to long-range mine from this natural force up. Here comes that big wave of lings. This could be potentially the killing blow from Khasidon. This queen is isolated down here and will die pretty quickly. This hatchery will probably die as well. Banelings are morphing in because that baneling nest was never destroyed. All these drones are going to die. Now the queens are moving down from the high ground. This hatchery is done for. Good wall off with the queens though. They're going to stay alive. They're the only thing keeping Echo in this game so far. Here come the banelings. How are the transfuses? Oh, very good. Very good transfuses on that front one. Only loses 1 queen there. That was fantastic work. The on-the-spot transfuses from Echo. Now the lings are munching away. The banelings are trying to get forward. More great transfuses going off. And Khasidon just can't get the energy off these queens. There's just too many. They're transfusing back and forth. Only a few left out. Oh, it's so close. Can Khasidon get this? I don't think so. All the lings are gone. All the banelings are gone. Oh, that queen finally does die. This queen has 21 kills. This one has 60, this one has empty. Some queens have seen some shit. But unfortunately, a fellow queen from the opposing side has come across the map. There are no more bases left out there for Khasidon. Just the one. For Echo even, just the one left. Huge amount of drone production from Khasidon. Gonna get further ahead, getting queens, getting more lings. And Echo has no money. 2 mineral spots here. And 2 gas geysers. Hard times. Austerity budget for the Zerg at Echo base. Austerity calls for roaches apparently. I think that's pretty much the best you can hope to do in this situation. Does have quite a big gas bank, but not enough minerals to spend it, so can't do much at the moment. Walled in with queens, a few roaches for support. And Echo says, why do I always have to lose versus cheesy Hydra? Does he... I assume he means Muta, because Khasidon never made a Hydraless game in this game. That's weird. Anyway, queens and roaches are moving out, and these Zerglings doing some damage but not enough. Good transfuses on the roaches. This queen is not going to last long. And Echo, after that little bit of smack talk, has actually broken the contain here. And is going to head off across the map with those queens once again. But Mutalisks are going to be coming soon. +2 attack is coming for Echo. Long range mining resumes for Echo. That mineral income at last. Get back up. Doesn't have enough to build a hatchery. Here we go. Yeah, he did mean Muta. It's so cheap, he says. No. Well, Mutas... Hate to break it to you, Echo. Mutas aren't a very good unit. So I'm not sure you should complain too much about getting beaten by them. Khasidon's economy is up and roaring. Huge mineral income, plenty of gas. Nothing going on for Echo. And Echo has, after his brief tantrum, left the game.